spent my summer vacation by Peter Parker. I can sum it up in one hyphenated word. Spider-Man. Talk about your ultimate rush. Okay, so summer's over. Big deal. Are things really gonna change that much?
Hello! Welcome. We are going to talk about Spider-Man. Specifically, the Spectacular Spider-Man. And my name is Zach.
Yes.
And I am with my co-host, Gregory.
Hello.
Ola, the
Ah.
Moondog.
Yes.
The dog-faced bastard. The Professor. So today, Gregory decided to watch Spectacular Spider-Man finally. And finally. So we're going to be reviewing both seasons or just one?
Both.
Both. Okay. So, yeah, Spectacular Spider-Man was released in 2008. Sadly got canceled in 2009.
Yeah. So, I was a kid during this era, so I was watching Disney XD, and there's only a couple episodes I remember. Like,
Yep.
one of them, like, while I was watching it, became like, oh, yeah, I watched this episode. But I was really shocked because I was telling Zach, like, I don't remember, like, 90% of the show for some reason. And that's why I got so confused when you told me that Ultimate Spider-Man wasn't the same. Because growing up, I didn't know the difference. Because it looked not exactly... Looking at it now, no, it doesn't look the same. But, like, to a kid's eye, it kind of looks similar.
It's just Spider-Man, right?
Right.
It's kind of like when just, like, I don't know if you know the whole bat embargo thing.
No, I'll go ahead and share.
So, like, when the Batman, the cartoon, came out, and TNBA just ended, there was a bat embargo because of the Christopher Nolan movies, right? So Chris Nolan got to have his pick of the litter and go, well, I want this character, they can't use this character, or whatever. And WB, I think, doesn't have this rule anymore, but they used to, that we can only have one on-screen version of any certain character. So, like, the Batman was a new hip cartoon to go along with Batman Begins, because the Batman's about a young Bruce Wayne learning to be Batman, yada, yada, yada. So, like, Two-Face isn't in the Batman, Scarecrow's not in the Batman. In Justice League, they used Joker for a Justice League episode, the two-parter, which was like his send-off for that point, because I think in the timeline he dies shortly after that from Return of the Joker, which I'm going to shill our other show, or shill that podcast, so go watch the Return of the Joker one, because that's great. That's an early one, too. So, like, Justice League, you couldn't use the Bat Family, they couldn't use Batman villains, so that's like why we never got like a Tower of Babel with Ra's al Ghul in the Justice League cartoon, because they weren't allowed to use Batman villains, because Warner Brothers would feared that if there were too many on-screen versions, people would just get confused and be like, I don't know which version's which. But like if you watch it on a movie theater screen and a TV screen, like, and by the voice. So
yeah.
Funny enough, Spider-Man was voicing Batman in the Batman, and Kevin Conroy, obviously. So, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah,
it's dumb. Very dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could see from that part. Like I said, as a kid, I didn't know the difference.
Right, because, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Kid just sees it, and it's like, oh, it's Batman, or Spider-Man, or Captain America. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and was it? They were supposed to have a Spider-Man movie in the '90s, right? And that's why they couldn't use Green Goblin at first in the animated series.
No. So what had happened is Toy Biz was running the Toy Biz was running Marvel toys, and they made Hobgoblin before they made Green Goblin. So that's why Hobgoblin shows up first, even though the studio.
Sorry about that. Yeah, you should
No,
talk about the studio.
Yeah, the head director guy, I forget, Sam something. Semper, I think his name is. But he wrote like every episode of that show. Wanted to use Green Goblin because he was very like, I'm going to stick to the classic comic books.
Right.
And then because AVA Rad and fucking what's his face were like, well, we already made a Hobgoblin toy, so fucking use the Hobgoblin first.
Ride that Hobgoblin train, right?
Yeah, and to be fair, Hobgoblin was really popular in the late 80s.
Oh, yeah.
So
I loved Hobgoblin as a kid from those reruns. I thought he was fucking cool. Yep. And like
in '94.
Yeah, and that episode, because like they would air reruns on Disney, and that episode when the Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin teamed up, oh, my head exploded. Like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. So this show, Greg Weisman and Victor Cook were instructed to remind people of the Raimi movies. So Spider-Man 3 came out in 2008.
Okay.
And Sony wasn't sure if 4 was going to happen, and the Sam Raimi thing didn't happen, didn't fall through yet. So the Amazing Spider-Man was not in existence yet. So they were like, okay, cool. So we'll do, if you guys could do a Spider-Man cartoon to remind everyone of the Raimi movies, right? So there's a lot of, if you look at it, like there's certain shots of the Raimi movies in this cartoon.
Oh yeah, I noticed.
Especially for the opening.
A lot of callbacks I noticed from the other cartoons too. Like definitely noticed that. It's more early on, isn't it? Or is it like throughout?
Yeah. There's quite a bit. So like I know in the beginning where he's running on the buildings and jumps off, that's from a Raimi movie. The train scene, the train pose is from the Raimi trilogy. There's some other stuff that I don't quite remember off the top of my head. But yeah, Vic Cook and Greg Weisman are like, we're gonna focus on the Lee Ramita era, or Lee Ditko into Ramita. So like he's in high school, he's still figuring out stuff. He's a kid, he has problems like, I don't have enough money for a car, I don't have a date, or whatever the issue is. While still kind of updating it for audiences. I'm not going to say modern audiences, but still updating it.
At the time.
Right.
Yeah, I was texting you about the flip phones and the fucking Blackberries and shit, and I was like, oh my god. It's like I remember having them in grade school, those kind of blueberry things, whatever they're called.
Yep.
But yeah, I just remembered one when he opens the door and he sees Mary Jane. Mary Jane's, what does she say? He goes, you just won the lottery or something like that?
You hit the jackpot.
You hit the jackpot, yeah.
That's from the comic. That's from the comic and the movie.
I heard it in the animated Spider-Man too.
Yeah, they did it there too.
Yep. Yeah.
It's from the comics, so
I love it's the same thing though. They're like it's Aunt May say, "Oh, you should meet her. She's a nice personality." And then and Peter's shaking like, "Oh God!" And then opens the door. Oh shit!
Right. But yeah, and then like they took it's kind of like the Batman the animated series for Spider-Man, because they took stuff that works from the comics, and got rid of everything that didn't.
Right, so, improved on it. You know, they didn't reinvent the wheel. They just
cut the fat.
Exactly.
So
it's funny too. Another thing I think, I'm sorry, I can't cut you off.
No,
another thing I remember is I could have sworn Gwen and Peter were together in this. Like, no, no. I don't remember. I don't remember Liz. I don't remember Mary Jane being in it. But I remember fucking Gwen, and I thought, oh, they were together. No, they
Nope.
didn't go. They don't get together at all.
They're just friends.
But they
Really
but
good friends.
The tension is there, and they want to be together. But all the drama, all Liz, all MJ, oh
Yeah.
man, all Harry.
Oh, man.
You know?
I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Everybody feeding into other relationships.
Yup. And then the other cool thing is almost all the villains in the show were green, which is like keeping with the classic stuff. So like almost all of Spider-Man's original villains are wearing green. So like Vulture, Green
That's wild.
Goblin, Mysterio, Electro, Doc Ock, Sandman, Lizard.
It's weird because
Fucking-
Vulture was wearing rocking red and black in this one. instead of
Yeah.
green, which I
he's
kind
got
of dig
the-
it. It's just different.
Yeah, that was from Marvel Knights. I
No
think in
shit.
Marvel Knights, Spider-Man, he wears the red and black thing. And also making Gwen a nerd is something that's not from the books that they did for themselves.
Okay.
Liz Allen being Hispanic is also something they did to switch things up,
Yeah.
which they did in Homecoming too.
I don't remember Liz at all in anything. So please tell me who Liz Allen is.
Liz Allen is Harry's wife. She eventually gets married to Harry Osborn
No shit.
in the comics, and then they have baby Norman. So he names it after his dad and whatnot. But Liz Allen is just one of those supporting characters that I think has been there since high school. And then as you find out, she's related. I don't know if she's related to Multiple Man in the comics or not. I think they might have changed that too. And then they stole the Eddie Brock being friends with Peter before he becomes Venom, and them growing up together from the Ultimate Comics.
Yeah.
Well, Ultimate Comics, they didn't grow up together, but they were childhood best friends. And then later, when Peter is like going to or breaks up with MJ for like the 40th time, he starts hanging out. That's an exaggeration, but anyway, he starts hanging out with Eddie,
Yeah.
and then finds out Eddie's a total fucking loser. And then he's like, "Oh, we have if you played the Ultimate Spider-Man game, it's basically, oh, we have our dad's suit that's supposed to be a cure for cancer. Well, haha, joke's on you. It's science gone wrong,
No.
and it's not an alien, but it like ends up eating its toast or some shit, so it has to feed on people. And yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man's great.
Sounds like it.
So this show, I'll go first. So when I first saw the show, so we watched the first couple episodes on Saturday on Kids WB, which is where it started. I wasn't a fan. Like
Okay.
by the lizard episode, so that's literally episode 3, and then they got me. Like
Took you a couple episodes before I finally hooked you.
right, because it looks like on the surface it looks very kiddie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, that's all how
for
they all
small
start.
children.
Yeah.
Right. For small children, because me being a child of the early 90s, I was growing up on Spider-Man the animated series, X-Men the animated series, Batman the animated series, like all this stuff that wasn't
Gritty. It was
kid
gritty.
looking.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, wasn't kid looking. So when this show came around, I was like, all right, well, I'll give it a chance. And then by the lizard episode, they got me, because that fucking his arm growing back and does that weird thing, like the fucking Play-Doh thing, and
Yeah.
reforms his arm. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And then it turns into a lizard, and it's like a werewolf scene, and you're like, holy shit.
Voiced by D. Bradley Baker.
Yep.
One of my favorite voice actors ever. So is Steve Bloom. And so I was very happy to hear them in actually the voice cast in general was really
Fantastic.
top notch. John DiMaggio's in it, Clancy.
Picture Perfect Brown.
Yeah.
Josh Keaton, who is my favorite Spider-Man.
Okay.
Like, I like Christopher Daniel Barnes. I even like Neil Patrick Harris, but when I read Spider-Man, I try and put Keaton's voice in my head.
Yeah. For sure.
Especially like with Ultimate. When I read Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, that's who I picture or hear in my head. And then, like, if I'm reading normal Spider-Man, it's usually Barnes, because that's just my brain. I don't know. It's the same thing with Batman. So if it's normal Batman stuff, it's Conroy, obviously, or a blend of Conroy and Greenwood. But anyway, yeah, I adore the show, even though it's only 2 seasons and it's bullshit that it should have got more. And the reason it was canceled is because of stupid politics.
Oh yeah.
So
it's a damn shame. Yeah, because I don't know. So did it switch to Disney XD after they got bought, or was
season 2? So in between season 1 and season 2, they were Sony gave up the TV rights to Spider-Man.
Okay.
So that they could keep the movie rights and make the Amazing Spider-Man and the god-awful Venomverse and Morbid Time. So they were like, we'll keep Spider-Man in perpetuity. And then they lost a shit ton of money on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 because, goddamn, that movie has some shining moments and then some of it's just god-awful. It's like the Batman and Robin of Spider-Man movies, to be honest.
I've never seen it. I've only seen the first one.
Oh, I like the first one. The first one got cut to shit, but it could have been great.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
our next episode.
That's a different show for a different time.
Yeah, but yeah, you were saying that like they switched to Disney.
Yeah, they switched to Disney XD, and then like the scheduling was weird, so like views went down. And
that's probably
I'm guessing
why I barely remember it then, because like I remember the episodes. I remember watching it somewhat, and then it just for some reason it would just be on, and then it wouldn't be.
Because well, at the time I remember season 2 didn't air in America, wasn't airing in America first.
Huh.
So it was supposed to be on 4Kids.
Yeah.
And then it got switched to Disney XD, but everywhere else it was airing. I remember watching the Kraven the Hunter episode on YouTube.
Huh.
From like a Canadian fucking TV station.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Remember when everything could be added on YouTube with no repercussions?
Yeah, right. Before they were like, "Oh, copyright. Oh, we're not making." Well, the thing is like I don't think this is a tangent, but you guys should be used to that by now. We get on tangents all the time. I don't think you should get in trouble if you're not making any money. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like if you just load something up there,
sometimes they'll let you get away with that. They'll give you like a third party thing that pretty much says, well, if you get monetization on your channel, you can't get any money off this video. But like, but they'd leave it up. Now it's like every other video I post, especially if it's me playing a wrestling game, they fucking block it in like all the Asian countries and shit, and I'm like, why? Like
but
for
why,
like
though?
Just to see 2 seconds of Matt Hardy's Titantron in his fucking 2003 V1 entrance, like you get me blocked. So like I gotta. Oh, it's a damn shame because when you play Shut Your Mouth, also you get a bunch of like entrances that start with those freaking Titantrons. That's right, and they're full motion video and shit. Of course, the N64 ones you can get away with because they're literally like 2 frames that go back and forth, and that's the Titantron, which thankfully YouTube doesn't recognize it as footage.
Has Gregory been playing old wrestling games lately?
Oh my god, have you been seeing my posts? Like, it's been all I've been playing. Like, I gotta play. I actually had to take a break from the AKI games because, like, I got fucking. Oh my god, I'm playing Virtual Pro 2, and
Were you balls deep?
Yeah.
Balls deep?
Balls deep into that fucking story mode and just getting the shit kicked out of me constantly by Stan Hansen and Vader, but being able to beat everybody else. And then I was forced to watch a whole Rumble that I got eliminated in, and I was like, fuck, so I had to watch it. And then Andre the Giant was the last one he came out. He came in, got eliminated in like 2 seconds, and I was pissed because had I won it, I would have unlocked Andre. I was like, son of a bitch!
Greg's getting his ass kicked by blind old Stan Hansen, just wham!
I was going to say, don't you call him bland? That's bullshit.
No, I meant blind. But,
blind, oh yeah, half blind.
Half blind.
He's blind in one eye, can't see out the other. But wrestling tangents aside, yeah, getting to rewatch this definitely was a treat. And like Zach here, it took me a few episodes. Like I'll watch an episode, I'd watch like 3 episodes here, and then wait a couple days and watch another episode, and then finally forgot where I was hooked. It was definitely before the Venom episode, where he got the black suit and shit.
Yeah,
Might have been actually that might have been the one that finally I was okay. I have to finish it, or it might have been the Goblin episode actually, because like
the Goblin episode.
Steve Blum as Green Goblin. I didn't know I needed until I seen it. So definitely, I put it up there. I put it up there with him as Starscream and Transformers Prime, which that's one we definitely gotta check out. I think you'd really like that one a lot.
They have to give me a password because I don't have Paramount Plus.
Well, it's on Tubi.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that one's all over the place. I think one season's on Netflix and the other two are on Tubi. Like that one's in all kinds. Transformers is strange with their fucking streaming rights. Yeah, like Paramount's got their shit, but like they don't have everything. Like the rest is on Tubi for some reason. Which I'm sure with Paramount Plus being out, I'm sure Tubi's gonna eventually have to give up those, especially Beast Wars and shit.
Right.
But like definitely the Goblin episodes and such, and then the twist of who Goblin actually is, and like the lengths it went to get to that twist that you didn't realize, and then it was like, oh, it's one of those deals like if you know Spider-Man, it's fucking Norman Osborn, but like. The way they did it was ingenious to me because I figured oh it's Harry, and then it is Harry, and then later there's another Goblin. It's like okay, well then it's Norman. At the finale
they revealed the whole thing, so it was like from day one,
step by step, and then like you find out the chameleon's in on it and shit, and it's like. I do love when Harry goes, wait, what if Mom's the Goblin? And then the chameleon, as Norman just looks at him and just shrugs. Like, the fuck?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, he's like, okay. And then goes, I don't
know. It's funny rewatching that you could tell, okay, chameleon's losing it. He's like, he doesn't know what to do anymore. He can't hold up the act. But then to find out it was Norman this whole time, and then that whole twist... Literally the twist, like the ankle thing. I really went out loud. Holy fuck! When fucking twisted his own son's ankle while he's passed out after an overdose,
which is also fucking. So in the comics, Harry gets addicted to drugs, right? Yeah. That's the first time in the comics that drugs were used without the Comics Code Authority like flipping their shit. It was the first comic book ever to be printed without the Comics Code Authority fucking sticker label thing that was like you can't do drugs, you can't have sex, you can't have werewolves, which is why Sauron in X-Men is a pterodactyl man, why Lizard is a fucking lizard man, and why
to get around the werewolf rule.
Yeah. And then it couldn't be an actual werewolf, so bitten by a wolf and then he turns into a creature. But no, pterodactyl man and a lizard man are fine. And then
Morbius being the living vampire,
Yup. Can't have dead things in there. And then what was the other Spider-Man bill? Oh, Man-Wolf, which is the Jonah's son.
Oh, really?
And you can kind of see it. So that big stupid yellow suit he wears when he's whatever.
Captain Jupiter or whatever.
Yeah. So in the comic, he gets a ruby from the moon, which isn't in this show. But he gets a ruby from the moon and it turns him into a werewolf.
Okay.
But since he's not bit by a wolf and it's not an actual werewolf, it's just the ruby makes him look like a werewolf.
He's a space wolf.
Right, he's a space, he's an alien wolf. It's different.
Oh, J. Jonah, this is probably my favorite iteration of J. Jonah Jameson. There's a lot of favorite iterations, I think, in this show, but Jonah, this JJ takes the fucking cake.
He's just a great,
if I don't have this at 6.96 seconds, giving timestamps and shit.
If I don't, what is it? If you don't get out of my office in the next 9 words, and then Peter's like, wait, that's only 7. Get out!
It's only 7. Oh my god.
Or whatever he says.
But then I love he's shitting on Spider-Man. His son gets powers, and suddenly he's championing his son. That's a fucking...
Yeah, but he wears a mask, or whatever he says. Which is funny because I don't know if you watched Ned's Declassified, but that is the janitor in that show.
That's awesome. Oh
God. Let's see other. So some of my favorite episodes, like my number one favorite episode, is where they're at the raft and they're testing the breakout thing.
Yeah, the prison.
And, and he's like, "Oh man, I want Spider-Man locked up, blah 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 blah," and then he'll never escape. And then he does that weird webbing thing where he makes a web cocoon and then it blows up and the guards come in and then he gets out. And while he's running, he sees the camera and he's like, "Oh, JJ, ta-da!" And like some of the stuff that happens in this is just great. Like I love that episode. The first Goblin episode where he tries to paint the city red with all the rich people. I like when Goblin, his glider flies through the fucking building and he jumps and flips over the building, lands on the glider, and Spider-Man's just on a wall and goes, "Wow. Just wow."
I thought this is like Spider-Man humor done good. Very good. I love it. All the episode, all the villains in the show are so great. Like Tombstone, as soon as they said big man, I was like, all right, it's Kingpin. And then I saw Tombstone in a suit. I'm like, oh, okay, that works too.
They couldn't use Kingpin.
Oh god.
So they changed it.
What the hell was he in? The Punisher movie?
No, so not at this time. But the Daredevil rights, he's technically a Spider-Man character, but he's, I guess, with the rights lumped in, he's lumped in with Daredevil because he's become more of a Daredevil villain than Spider-Man villain. Although he's kind of a New York crime boss anyway, so
it makes sense that he's fighting Spider-Man and Daredevil,
and Punisher and Iron Fist and Luke Cage and whatever.
Everybody
even though they're street level heroes. But yeah, I really like L. Thompson Lincoln in this one, which is funny because in the first episode he's voiced by Keith David, and then from then on it's Kevin Michael Richardson, who you probably know from the Batman as the Joker. Yeah, and he's Martian Manhunter and Young Justice, and
he's Maurice and Penguins of Madagascar.
But yeah, I really like that episode. I like the Opera House episode. I think it's called Gangland.
Oh yeah, where they're in the Opera House and shit and like cut on a deal.
Yep, and then like Doc Ock shows up with Vulture, and then you got Silvermane with Silver Sable, and then you got Hammerhead, and I forget who comes with Hammerhead. I think it's just a goon.
Yeah.
And then it's like that scene from The Dark Knight where Joker comes in with all those mobsters. So they're all trying to cut a deal and, well, we should be doing this, that, and the other thing. And then everything goes wrong because it's all set up and Hammerhead's a douche. And he's just like, ha-ha!
I always love
but then they all start fighting.
Anytime I see Vulture though, like it makes me want to play like the Spider-Man. Fucking Spider-Man for the PS4. 2018. I guess we call it 2018 now.
Oh. I didn't get the memo. I'm sorry.
Well, because it's on PC now. It's on fucking PS5 now. So.
Dude, I need to get a PC that plays that.
Oh.
Because some of those mods, like I don't know if you looked up suit mods.
No.
But holy Christ!
Oh, I bet they're.
Let's just say they make my dick rock hard.
Dick hard for Spider-Man.
Yep.
But like anytime I see Vulture, I remember the fucking Vulture and Electro boss fight, and I think that might be my favorite fight in that fucking game for some reason.
Funny enough, Electro is Josh Keaton in that game.
He is. That's right, isn't he? I think because, like, of course, me watching shows, I immediately go into the IMDb voice cast list, and I looked up Josh Keaton's work, and I think I did see that he was the Electro and Spider-Man for the PS4.
Yep, and he's Green Lantern in the CGI show that got canceled after one season.
Oh, so okay, I keep meaning to bring it up. So how Disney Plus has this show is so it has all 26 episodes. So funny thing, right? Mm-hmm. I finished off on when I texted you, hey, just finished the show. I had just finished the episode where Tombstone goes down and Green Goblin gets control. I didn't even see the episode where Green Goblin, the whole like reveal.
Prison. Oh,
because for some
I thought
reason
it was a prison episode.
No, I didn't even see that one either. So
yeah.
when I was watching in the living room, for some reason it didn't give me the next episode option. So I was like, oh shit, that was the last episode. And then like I was sitting in my room the next day and I go on Disney Plus and I see continue watching and it shows another episode of Spider-Man. I'm like, wait a minute. And then I realized I missed like 4 episodes or 6 episodes or something. But another thing that's messed, and it's not labeled in seasons. It's just one season on Disney Plus.
Right.
And then the one thing that really messed me up though was the last episode is out of order. It's from the middle of the show because like it cuts back to like Liz and Peter being still together. Then you see Eddie on the roof, and then, like the timeline was all fucked. I was like, wait a minute, this was before. Like so, it really wigged me out. So I at that point I just turned it off. I was like, I finished the show. It's all good. But the Venom episodes were like that episode where like we're in Peter's head. Like that's my favorite episode probably.
And it's black and white, and it's literally the episode before that season finale, which is Venom. The Venom voice is okay. Like I like the '90s. Like I love this show, but like when the animated series versions of Venom's voice is just stuck in my head.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I compare everything to. And then they did the Spider-Man 3 thing where it's 2 voices but different tones or pitches, I guess. But like the one from the '90s show, I'm just like, that is how Venom should sound.
Oh yeah.
But like it makes sense on a normal level, or like a realistic level, because it's a living being, so it may not have vocal cords, but since it has Eddie's vocal cords, it's kind of trying to mimic that. But
and what was so like this was like, oh my god, was when Peter gets on his knees and goes, I'll take you back, I'll take you back, and then the suit just leaves Eddie. And you can tell that fucked with Eddie so hard. I'm like, oh man, he got what's the word? Rebounded.
Yeah.
he was a rebound, and then like, of course, that's how he takes over the suit, because like, fucking suit's like, this tastes all wrong, the emotions and shit, because it was feeding off Peter's hate and angsty teenness.
Yep. There's another episode. Hold on. I didn't watch it, but I have most of I have the basic plot memorized.
While you look for that, another character I really liked was Flash. Like another thing where like Flash was such like a fucking dingus throughout the show, and that Venom episode.
His voice.
Yes.
His voice was so like his voice and his laugh was so annoying. Like I remember watching it and be like, God damn it, Flash, shut the fuck up.
And then there's the episode when everything's getting serious because of the Venom shit, and like Flash gets super serious with Peter, and I was like, whoa. I was like, oh shit.
You mean Eugene?
Yeah. And then another one was and then like when Spider-Man was like, what did he say? I owe Flash, or I gotta say, or something like that. He's like, he's like, I hate that, or something. If I could please remember, I gotta write down these lines instead of like trying to remember them, because I cannot for the life of me remember the exact lines these people say.
So because I have the first season, well, most of the first season up. So we got the Market Forces episode, which is funny because you texted me about this. You're like, oh, Montana's Shocker, and he's Southern, and he says, squash the bug, the bug. Yeah. Yeah, that's a change too.
I said Cowboy Shocker was definitely a choice. I mean, I was into it. I still like Shocker.
Yeah.
I think James Cumming in the '90s show kind of gave him a little bit of a twang, but not that much.
He's not really a character, because I think he's a side character in the Venom arc, which is funny. This and the '90s show end with Venom as the season 1 bad guy. And with that being the season finale. But yeah, Montana from the Enforcers, which are also a fun group of cowboy supervillains. Not cowboy supervillains, but one's got
Yeah.
a whip.
That
One's
big-
got a gun.
When the big dude
Ox.
gets a ox. Yeah, I love in the when they're in the
Which-
elevator and Ox is singing the fucking theme song. What? It's catchy. As a spectacular and they look at him like the fuck.
Right.
The humor in this show is top notch. Like it knows when
Right.
to be funny and it knows when to be serious. And
Well,
when it-
and it's genuine. Like
Yeah.
it comes from characters. It's not like sometimes in the MCU it's just kind of like, haha, joke because we're getting too serious and like people don't need to take this shit seriously. Like I don't know about that, Chief.
I love it. The show, not that. But
Although Infinity War didn't do that, thank fucking God.
No.
Because could you imagine
oh,
if Thanos did the snap and then after he sits down on his farm, right? And then there's some fucking joke.
oh.
Everyone would be like, nope.
When I fired
Fuck you.
Went
You.
went over like a fart in church, you know. Oh God, like they want to go on about multiverses now. I can just imagine a multiverse where that happens,
Oh God.
and
I
everybody
don't-
sighs.
We don't live on the worst. We're not in the worst timeline.
Maybe it's all right.
We're in one of them, but not the worst one.
Not the number one worst. The nuclear holocaust fucking timelines have nothing to a bad joke.
Right.
In a,
At the end of a serious Marvel movie.
Oh man.
I like the Sandman. I like in this show they didn't make any new characters, and then like I didn't realize this, but you meet a lot of villains in the first episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Because you meet Sandman, you meet Rhino. Obviously, before they're Sandman and Rhino,
Yeah.
you meet the Enforcers. So technically, you meet Shocker, you meet Goblin, you meet Vulture. Like, yeah, it's insane.
Oh, and Dr. Octopus when he was just
Yep.
a little schmimey doctor.
Yep.
Oh my God, I had to look it up because Rhino. Okay, they say it's bonded to his skin. He can't get out of the suit, so I had to look up. How does he shit? And what's even better is one of the suggested questions was, how does he shit and how does he have sex? I'm just looking at that going, wow, I mean, I just want to know how he pooped. I don't give a fuck how he fucks. But someone needed to know. And I think the creator from the show actually answered a question like that once and said it has to go through his feet. Which, oh my God. Can you imagine like just stinky feet, like
Right.
shit smelling
So,
feet.
what's funny is there's a show, and I mentioned them before on Animations Anonymous, Comic Pop. They had a similar thing because one of the co-hosts asked the same question: how does Rhino poop? And then they make it this thing where Sandman goes into his thing
Oh
and
my
just
God.
squeezes him, so there's just poop coming out of his face.
God. I was gonna say, does he shit from his mouth? Because like that.
All right, Sandman, squeeze me. I'm full, and just shit, just
Oh my God.
so gross.
Comic Pop is what now I gotta look them up because that is awesome.
Oh no! Like you know how I make dick and fart jokes about comic books a lot, even though I take them seriously. But I fuck around and make up dumb shit.
Talk about cocks.
Yeah,
How does Penguin bathe?
it's the same. They do the same thing.
Oh fuck!
I love
yeah.
that. I love that YouTube channel.
Oh, I gotta look him up now. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I think of some other really good characters from the show though, like
Doc Ock.
Yes.
I love Dr. Octopus in the show, and like he never calls him. I don't think he calls him Spider-Man. He might, just like when they first meet, but he always calls him Arachnid.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he calls him, and it's fucking great. And like Doc Ock's not not like, oh, the arms talk to me. No, he just controls them.
He's just
and
crazy.
Then he's just evil.
He's just a
and
fucking
an
nut.
asshole.
He's been beaten down for his whole life. He finally gets some really strong ass arms, and now he's like, he's letting it take himself over, pretty much.
Yup.
He's on an ego trip.
Oh, the other good that's the Halloween episode where Goblin takes Hammerhead to the steel mill factory.
Yeah.
And then there's like blackmail tapes basically that Goblin told Tombstone, that Hammerhead has those or whatever because I forget, but
very much spinning a huge web trying to get the Tombstone.
The three of them to knock them out. Yeah.
Knock them all out.
That's a good one. And then when they go, it's a trap, isn't it? Yep. And then like the whole lava thing and the goblin. I love how the goblin bombs explode and laugh.
Yeah, the noise they make. Like, especially in that one episode when they're all underneath the balcony of the building, and, like, you just get a huge explosion, and that's all you hear is the laugh and like all the green. It's like, holy shit.
I love Black Cat in this show too.
Yes.
Like the lines in the Black Cat episode are like before the suit gets on Peter's bottom of his shoe, the black suit gets on Peter's shoe or whatever, and then takes him over. Like, just don't get any goop in my hair, and then fucking, oh, it's okay, it'll come out with peanut butter and cold water. Like, there are some sex jokes in this goddamn shit. You're just like, fucking what?
It's gotta be Black Cat, right? My God. I like that. I do like when you said how many characters are introduced. Like, I feel like, Shocker or not Shocker, Electro. Like, oh, hey, here's this character for 2 seconds. Boom, he's Electro all of a sudden. Yeah. But I like that, like, Sandman was a goon for, like, the first 5 episodes before he finally...
Yep.
Sandman and Rhino were goons, and then finally they become the Sandman and Rhino.
And then I love that Sandman's only... his basic motivation is, I just want a big score. Like, I just want to get a lot of money. And then I'll, like... Obviously, he won't stop. But you know what I mean? Like, he just wants to hit that big... payday.
One more big
and then
score,
he's like,
Arthur.
I'm out. Yeah, right. And then I'm moving to Tahiti.
Tahiti. Drew's been playing that for the first time. He's in chapter 4.
I got a plan.
Arthur,
I got a plan.
Last time we talked about it, he said he just finished a mission where Kieran gets killed.
I haven't played that game since it came out. Oh. Like, I tried, but that tutorial is... Oof.
Oh, yeah, it's rough. I was able, like... When Drew was playing it, he had me play through it because he goes, "Please just get me out of this fucking mountain," like, because like I'm not redoing these missions over and over.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, so because I have the season list up and I have there was one day while I was living with my parents, I woke up and I was like, I'm just gonna watch Spectacular Spider-Man from the first episode all the way to the last one, so all 26 episodes in one fucking sitting.
Hell yeah.
But the Sinister Six, the first one, is great because Peter encounters them in Times Square while Aunt May's at a play or whatever, and then he gets his ass kicked. And he's like, oh, I'm so fucking tired. And Aunt May has a heart attack? Or a heart episode, I think, during that whole kit and caboodle. But he gets his ass kicked and then falls asleep and doesn't wake up. Well, the black suit takes over and then finds them, trying to antagonize them. And then the suit just beats the shit out of the Sinister Six and was going to kill Doc Ock with his own fucking tentacle. There's some great stuff in that, like, Spider-Man, or the suit pulls Shocker into Sandman, so like he falls apart, and then the suit jumps on Vulture's back and tries to punch his backpack like in the first episode, and it doesn't work. Electro takes out Rhino because he's all staticky or whatever.
Yeah, he just used them used their powers against each other.
Yep, and then
almost murked him until was it Gwen Stacy's dad that stopped him and goes, Spider-Man.
Yep.
No. Yeah.
Yep, and then he swings off.
Which God, like just the what ifs of like if the show kept going, and I was reading up on it, and then one of the things they were teasing was like Gwen's dad knows he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
because like he keeps
the whole time. Like the whole time, especially in season 2, it's so on the nose.
He's like, this dude knows, and Spider-Man is at the point he goes, I don't fucking know, like he's like he knows, but does he know, or is it a coincidence?
He knows. Like that. What the fuck? I think it's Dexter. I think it's in Dexter, but there's someone in a hospital bed. He knows, and then the character goes, "Shut up."
And then reading up more into it, like I guess there were going to be some movies in between. Then there's going to be more enemies like Morbius, Hobgoblin. They were going to introduce like the Hulk. Like I don't know about the Hulk, but like some superheroes, and then maybe that spins off into their own shows.
Yeah.
The big what ifs, and then like to see people go, oh, bring it back, on Twitter.
You're right.
And like the creator go, yeah, that's not happening. And I'm like, oh, damn shame.
Timed up.
He's like, there's no fucking way.
Nonsense. Right. So that was kind of covering season 1. Season 2
a discussion, Yeah. Not really going blow by blow.
Season 2 is probably one of my favorite things. So like I love Blueprints, which is the Mysterio episode, and Stan Lee's in this one as a dock worker. He's like, am I being punked? I am Mysterio. Oh, you meet Mysterio too on the boat. Because that's the Tinkerer and Mysterio and Chameleon when the fake Spider-Man, when him and Black Cat go onto the boat or whatever. But yeah, Mysterio is one of my favorite villains in the show, and I love the little gargoyle things that he has.
Yeah, that make a noise, and then the robots and
and the fight at the end where it's like in the cowboy where they're basically in a movie studio. And like he goes through the space thing, and then the cowboy stuff. So he's fighting all these robots and does all this cool shit, which they kind of.
I love when they arrest the robot of him. They're like, well, why would you use a robot that looks like you? He goes, because I don't want anybody taking the credit of Mysterio. They're like, oh, actors, like what the.
Or
fuck?
I like the end of the episode. He's like, don't you recognize me, Spider-Man? He's like, yeah, no. He's like, au revoir, Spider-Man, and then he drops the teacup, and fucking Quentin Beck's just like, God damn it.
I love that. I forgot about Kraven. That. You don't? No, I don't. Yeah, Kraven the Hunter. Yeah, when he came back as a fucking lion, I was like, holy shit.
I don't know about the Catman thing, but his first episode, I really like that. Like him fighting and all that stuff. Yeah, the Catman thing. I'm like, I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah, I kind of forgot. I forgot when you said Kraven. I was like, Kraven. Oh yeah, that's right. He was in the show. I forgot.
Yeah. And then the second Sinister Six episode. But instead of Mysterio and
Doc Ock?
Shocker? Is it Doc Ock? It might. I don't remember.
He's the man who put
the master planner.
Master planner, but no, he wasn't in it.
But I love that Peter burns his tongue. Like he sips hot cocoa while he's on a date with Liz and everyone at the ice rink, which is in Hawkeye too, and at the end of Homecoming. So, like, the show has New York landmarks, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But he burns his tongue, and Spider-Man keeps trying to quip, and the villains are like, What the hell? What?
I
burned my tongue.
I burned my tongue. Which I'm glad, like, right as they stopped was when I was kind of getting tired of it. And then right as they stopped, I was like, okay, thank God.
Oh. And then there's one of my favorite lines where they're on the beach. So Spider-Man has just frozen Sandman in a block of ice.
Yeah.
Because he's on a beach, and then water and ice and whatnot. And so he lures Rhino onto the ice of the Manhattan Bay, and he goes, hands him an oxygen tank, and he goes, "You might need this." He goes, I hate you so much. Falls through the thing.
God, this show's so good. Damn it. Bring it back, fuckers. Just do it. I don't care how you gotta do it, just do it.
And then the master plan, the sheer strength, so Gwen gets captured. Like, that's one of my favorite parts, where he's about to die and all the gravel's on him, and then he lifts it up, and it's so good.
It rips through his suit like,
Yeah, it's like that scene.
That's the power of love.
in Homecoming. And then First Steps is where Sandman becomes a giant beach and then dies.
Giant beach.
Because he absorbs all that sand to stop that tanker from blowing up.
I just imagine, I don't know why, I imagine him with the John DiMaggio voice like in the show. I think it's because I just watched Adventure Time, so I'm imagining like Jake lines with the sand. Jake the dog lines.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
And then the Captain Jupiter thing and Venom.
Yeah.
So one thing I was like, I don't know that. Because Venom's like hulking and big, and Eddie found out where Spider-Man was keeping the suit. And then starts fucking with him. And then the cops are just like, oh, Spider-Man, even though Spider-Man is literally a teenager in the show. And Venom's like fucking
bulky,
6'5" and huge. Like,
I love that's what Gwen. What is his name? So I could call him Gwen's dad. Or
George.
Captain
Stacy.
Captain Stacy. There we go. Captain Stacy. He even brings. I think it was him who brought it up. Goes or somebody brought it up. They're like, no, he's too tall. He's too big in this one. I think it was Captain Stacy because he's like, do you really want to? Because he goes, remember last time you claimed he was a villain and you were wrong. Do you want to do it again?
That comes up in the stupid the Opera House episode because he's like, yeah, fine, reprint a rebuttal, or I think it's called a rebuttal. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like, yeah, on page 6 at the bottom in real small font.
And real small. Oh my god, I love again J. Jonah Jameson in the show. If you don't love him by the end of it, I can imagine me as a kid hating him because like I was supposed to as a kid because like, no, Spider-Man's innocent, you asshole. But yeah, J. Jonah Jameson, very good. This is a very good J. Jonah Jameson.
And I'm just going by big plot points, I guess.
Yeah.
The Identity Crisis episode was good. That's the one where Venom's like, Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and then they interview Aunt May.
Yeah, this was one of those I remembered. It came back to me when I saw. It was the interview section, and it was when they cut to the Connors, and like they were like, well, that would make sense. And then it just kind of like clicked. It's like,
cuts off.
I've seen this episode. Yeah, I've seen this on TV.
And then there's a party, and Eddie's being all creepy and shit. And then the fight scene in that thing where they fight across the school is real good too.
Oh yeah.
And then there's one in the
when fucking Spider-Man lands on his fucking neck. That's right. Like, oh my god! Literally, he landed on his neck. His neck should be broken. But
the action in the show is so like, it's so good.
Yeah.
There's just times where you're like, oh damn! Like, there's one point where in the chemistry lab, I think, I don't know, they're fighting in the school, and like Spider-Man's getting up, and Venom takes him and like throws him up against the ceiling, and then he bashes into the ceiling and comes down. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, definitely that school fight is badass.
And then I remember in the first appearance where they're at the parade, and Eddie keeps talking, and Venom like Spider-Man shoots a web in his mouth.
Yeah,
and then his stomach becomes a giant mouth, and he rips off the webbing, and both mouths are talking, and it's just like, oh. One thing I don't get about Identity Crisis is that the gene cleanser. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, how does that affect Venom? Like,
well, whatever. It's
like
still good.
The fucking gene is a living creature. Right. It's right. I would get like Spider-Man and like the Lizard.
Kurt Connors. Right.
It'd affect them because but like this is a living thing.
Oh, speaking of Lizard, I forgot he breaks his hand in the Lizard episode.
Yeah.
And then he webcasts it the whole.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah, it's like wrist tape practically with webs.
With webs. There's the Accomplices episode, which is where they're trying to buy the Rhino formula.
Yeah.
You actually meet Hobgoblin in that episode.
Oh no shit.
Which is the I forget his name, the black guy.
Okay.
That works with that Donald Mencken has, and then you have the fuck, what is his name? I don't remember, but yeah, he was supposed to be Hobgoblin. He is Hobgoblin, I should say.
Oh, I'm so sad. I want the show. It said 65 episodes. Come on, we're 26 in. You can make the rest. Damn it, Disney!
Finish it.
Just let him finish it. God damn it! Fucking if Warner Brothers caved in and gave us that one fucking movie, might as well do a whole cartoon.
Right. Oh man, there's so much cringe when it comes to the Snyderverse. I don't know if you've been on Twitter and looked up Snyderverse stuff, but they make these cringy ass videos and
anything with the fucking Warner Brothers like cinema fucking universe right now.
It hurts me.
The fucking
it
shit.
hurts my soul.
My brother's thinking Warner Brothers is gonna be done, which I'm like, I don't want. Oh no, because like all I'm worried about is, well, what the fuck's gonna happen to Batman? Like, man.
No, someone, I think it was Comic Pop again. They were having a discussion, but it's like Warner Brothers owns DC, right?
Yeah.
But all they care about, at least up until 2013, was Batman and Superman. So Batman in of himself can just be sold off. Like, he doesn't need any of the other stuff. Like, Batman's its own ecosystem.
Yeah.
So, and his own cash cow. So Batman, even if Warner Brothers sold off the rest of DC, Warner Brothers would probably still keep Batman and just do Batman stuff.
I could see it.
But that's a discussion.
Interesting
for a different
discussion, though. That is very interesting.
Because it'd be a Spider-Man situation. Because
yeah,
Spider-Man doesn't necessarily need the wider pantheon of Marvel heroes.
But boy, does Disney need a Spider-Man. Like, fuck.
Right. So, and then the next one is where all the enforcers get those magic suits, and then they rob the bank.
Oh yeah, that's where he sings the theme song in the elevator.
in the elevator. And then that's also the one where Sally thinks Peter dies. She has a nagging voice too, but I think it's supposed to be that. I'm not sure.
I think it is because it's your favorite. I think because anytime I hear Tara Strong, I immediately think of Zach cringing.
It's only for Harley. And speaking of Harley, that Valentine's Day special.
Seeing Bane fuck a building was not on my bingo card that day of things I'm going to be watching.
You know what's funny? So, that one civilian's like, what the fuck is this? Was the exact moment I had that thought too. I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
They knew. All right, about this point, the viewer's going to be like, what is happening? I fucking love that show. We got to do an episode on it. There's fucking 3 episodes right there. That show alone, 3 episodes.
Just that episode. Oh, I guess I'll be alone on Valentine's Day. And fucking... Oh my god. I don't know if I've laughed harder. Like, I smirk at certain jokes in that fucking episode, or that show. But I was just like, oh my god.
We are now at the point of that show where it's like, we can do whatever the fuck we want, and we're going to. And it's going to be awesome. Oh my god. That Valentine's special. Oh boy. That show rules. God. I love Harley Quinn so much. But back to Spider-Man.
So, back to Spider-Man. The only episode that I'm not super keen on in season 2, like season 2 across the board is great. Oh, yeah. Like, the show is great in and of itself. I don't really like the Molten Man episode. Besides Blackie Gaxton. Like, I love
what
Blackie
a name.
Gaxton.
What a does not age well name. Than Blackie.
Blackie Gaxton, like that, like, I don't know, and it's Steve Blum doing his voice, and it's not an over the top voice, but it's just he's just a cool, like, he's a nobody, honestly, but it's just he's just a cool character, and yeah, it's a good time. And then opening night is when Riker's testing the new security system. Green Goblin traps him in there and releases all the villains, which was a cool thing. And then you find out Black Cat's dad killed,
Yes, that was cool because I was like, well,
Uncle Ben.
Why is he under a shadow? And then when he pulls his face, I'm like, I still don't know who this is. And then they went to the then Spider-Man had the revelation, and I was like, oh, okay,
right. And then Felicia's like, we got to get him out of here.
And Spider-Man's like, fuck
it's
no.
like, fuck no.
Which cool was like, the guy's like, he knows he fucked up. He knows he shouldn't have killed the man, but like, you can tell Spider-Man's like, no, fuck off. You can, you can fuck off.
I should have killed you when I had the chance. No.
I was, gun to my head. I mean, if I had the episode list up and read through like synopsises, I probably could find one episode that I was, but like, I don't think there's any episode that I didn't like per se. Or
no, but as far as it's still good, but it's just not one that I enjoy.
Yeah,
rewatching.
I don't really know off the top of my head. Maybe if I have the internet in front of me, I could pull up an episode.
You have a Google machine in your pocket in front of your face.
We can download vaginas anywhere we go.
Right.
The joys of the internet is beautiful.
And Star Wars porn wherever you look.
Specifically
Star Wars porn.
My God. But yeah, fucking
Mother of God.
To circle back, I guess, like, because Harry Osborn just popped up on my Google. Yeah. But like, he's seeing Harry's struggles, like him and Peter joined the football team and like being good. Well, like, of course Peter's good because he's Spider-Man, but fucking Harry's good because he's taking drugs and he's on the green. Right. And at the time we thought that's what was making him Goblin, but all it was really doing was just making him pass out and get angry. Like his adrenaline, it was steroids. He's practically doing roids, but like intense super villain roids, pretty much.
The thing that doesn't make me laugh, but it's like, oh, that's a blow. He's like, Norman's like, oh, I ingested it as a gas, you idiot. Like, I didn't drink it.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's like,
just his complete disdain for his own child.
Right. It's like that poor kid, you know, like he does everything in his power to get
Dad's approval, and then
nothing.
Nope.
Like, it's easier for Peter to get his approval, which you can see bugs the fuck out of him, obviously, no pun intended.
And then, so one of the shitty things Peter does that I cringe at every time is, so when they go out to that fancy dinner, right?
Yeah.
And they go to the bar, and then Peter has to leave because I think it is the Molten Man episode. But, like, Gwen's had her makeover for Mary Jane, so Gwen looks like Gwen does in the comics instead of the nerd that we got. But Liz is like waiting for a kiss, and Peter goes, bye Gwen, and then leaves. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And then they break up, and then, but it's just like, oh, you moron, what the fuck?
No, going through the synopsis, no, I don't see an episode where I was like,
No.
No, I mean,
and even the episodes that I wasn't keen on when I first watched it, it's like, nope, those have good stuff. Although Electro's fucking villain origin is dumb. Oh, I fell into a tank of eels. What?
Yeah, that one's a little over the top. I was hoping they go a little more deeper, like with him, though. I will admit, like I was hoping, like, oh, they're gonna find a cure for him, because like that's where they looked like they were going at first, and then it's kind of like, nah,
he likes being evil.
Yeah, he's just a bad. He's a baddie.
Aren't you gonna wash your hands? No, because I'm evil.
Just imagine Electro trying to wash his hands, just shocks the guy down the other end of the bathroom.
Oh, and I love that in the show, Spider-Man's ringtone for his cell phone is Itsy Bitsy Spider.
No, I didn't notice that. I'm gonna have to check that.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to go back and
It's
see
great.
that.
Great. I
Oh
love
my
this
god,
show.
these episodes have their own fucking Wikipedia pages. Well, not all of them, only some of them. Actually, none of season 2 has it, but like first 9 episodes of season 1 have their own Wikipedia pages.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's one where one of the villains is like, "Why don't you come in here and fight me?" While Spider-Man's in the prison, and he's like, "You tempt me, but no."
I love it. I love the jokes in here so much. But other than that, I think we've sucked the dick of this show so enough to.
Which is a rare occurrence.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Very rare. I'm trying to think. What other thing were we really like keen on? Like maybe
Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah. Turn of the Joker. Joe though.
Return of the
Joe
Joker.
wasn't so much, but we were all about that.
I love those movies.
I guess Evangelion, I would say.
Yeah,
I remember shitting
Evangelion
on
for
it.
the most part.
For the most
Although I
part,
felt like you were getting mad at me because I just wanted to cover the whole thing in detail, but you were like, "Dude, I just want to move on."
yeah, let's get this shit over with. Honestly, we probably could have done a big ass one episode on that. I mean, it was only 24 episodes, but
What and a movie, but yeah. We might possibly. I don't know. You might want to do the rebuilds.
The rebuilds, I thought about
I have far less love for the rebuilds.
So you've told me.
Yeah. Most of the Batman animated series stuff that we've covered.
Oh yeah, those
we
are
adore.
Fun, yeah.
Oh
yeah, I was showing. Speaking of that Valentine's Day special, fucking Drew was kind of like, man, why does Clayface get the shit end of the stick on a lot of this? I was like, you really like? He's like, I kind of really like Clayface. Like, do you want to see his origin? He's like, sure. So I threw on those 2 episodes, Feet of Clay, in an animated series, and he fucking loved it.
I don't mean to laugh, but in that Valentine's Day special, he falls in love with his own ass.
His ass. He wants to kiss his ass. Do you think he'll tongue his butthole? French kiss his butthole, you know?
And then they're in the bubbles. Like, what the fuck is this?
Again, that fucking special was just special. It was definitely special.
Oh my god. And then they're standing there and Bane's all big and naked and just steps on them. And then morphs them in together. Woe is me, my ass, you are no more, whatever. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my
Because
god.
he goes on a Tinder date, and then I forget who it is that cuts him in half. It's a super villain. Oh, Captain Boomerang. Captain Boomerang sets him up on a on a fake Tinder date and cuts him in half with a boomerang.
Oh my
And
god.
Crime Alley. Like, what the fuck? And he's laying there like the Waynes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like the
Damn.
Waynes. Good cry.
It's so dumb.
Oh my. It's so dumb. Oh my god. So yes, we definitely got to do Harley Quinn episodes then. Oh my fuck. On that note, is there anything else we can talk about the Spectacular Spider-Man?
Watch this goddamn show.
Oh yeah.
Just do it.
Yes. Let's get that view count up. Make them at least think about it.
Right? It's a good time. Fucking, it's not a kid show. It's an all ages show, which is what I think superheroes should be, is all ages. Well, unless you're the Punisher, then that's vigilante stuff. So we're not going to talk about that.
I feel like most cartoons should do that. Just start off with like, oh look, kitty image. All right, we suckered the parents in. Now you're in. Now you're in for a ride, kiddos. We're gonna teach you some serious fucking subjects and life lessons with this adorable
it doesn't
character.
even have to be kid looking, but it has, like, old Pixar movies used to do it. It's like, it's for everybody. So there's jokes in there that kids don't get, and
but
then they do get them. Right. And then if the drama's compelling enough, it's like, oh, okay, cool, fucking whatever. Anyway, enough of my philosophy on cartoons and animated media. I think we'll call it a show. Watch it if we can. I'm not going to be like, oh, do the hashtag bring Spectacular Spider-Man back. But if we could get, I don't know, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, which is just a continuation of this, that'd be great, because Young Justice is probably over. So they could get Greg Weisman back. He is doing a Gargoyles comic, so that's cool. Victor Cook was the leading, or one of the producers for not Spectacular Spider-Man, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, which is another show we should do too.
Yeah, I heard that one was really good.
It is good. It's got a similar feel to Spectacular, like as far as the look goes, which it kind of rubbed off on me, because they got in this show they don't have like black pupils.
Oh yeah,
they have full colored eyes, just like Spectacular, but it's not Sean Cheeks doing the whatchamacallit. Oh, your voice! God damn it!
We gotta stop. We're gonna. Oh my god! I just your voice. Oh my god!
And then I love it. So the whole time he's running down the street, it's always from a different angle where his dick's there. But if he's banging a building, it's just ass. And then his balls are blurred out. Like, what the fuck?
I just imagine someone expecting a really good rundown of Spectacular Spider-Man. Instead, they get a fucking stoned fucking co-host. Zach just nerding for a few minutes, and then we just laughing about the Bane's ball sack. Oh my god.
As soon as, like, Etrigan's like, here you go to make your dick bigger, and then fucking it says don't use HGH, and Bane's like, oh no, and then the fucking Ivy orgasm fucking spell thing comes over him, and then he just grows massive and huge and just starts fucking buildings, and it falls, like, they fall to the ground. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, we gotta get into plugs. We have to get into plugs right now. We're never gonna get off this fucking show if we don't get into plugs right fucking now.
You should be like, mostly the Spectacular Spider-Man, but also a lot of Harley Quinn's inappropriate Valentine's Day special.
Honestly, when you make the thumbnail for this, sneak in a little Bane or something in the corner. Just sneak him in somehow. I don't know how, but if you can. Oh my god. Okay.
So, plugs. I am on Instagram at Noir1930, action figure photography.
Yes. Check out it. Very good.
Oh, I'm dying. I'm also on Twitter at Noir1930, or Mark1, co-host of Plastic People podcast. Maybe next weekend we'll do that if Greg's available.
What is it? Plastic People? Yeah.
Yeah, Plastic People.
Hold on. Let's look at the calendar on air. But yeah, go ahead, keep going.
You can. I also co-host Mark Media, movie marks, but those are combined into one show.
Yeah, turning that to Mark Media, because that way we don't have a million. I mean, technically,
we different pop culture shit.
We could probably absorb Animations Anonymous into it, but eh.
Yeah, but this is an OG. Like, I think that's okay for like Mark Media is good for like movies and comics and books and other stuff, or video games if we want to gush over video games.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to do a video game episode. But I have I could do next Sunday.
So
if you're not busy.
Yep.
Next Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are my plugs.
You can follow.
I haven't done this in a while. So,
I know. I'm rusty. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at DFB Greg Murray. You can check out some of my latest shot, like me getting fucking maimed in Rockford. Oh my god, that was awesome though. So
You did bleed like a stuck pig. Like,
Oh
that
my-
was a lot of blood for that little Nick.
yeah,
I was like, oh shit.
it was a lot, and oh, it was crazy. I can't wait to tell the story about that because there's a lot of drama that came out of that too. So,
Yeah.
wrestling's awesome, but definitely check that out. Check out the YouTube channel DFB Greg Murray as well for any matches I upload, or just check out the match playlist that I usually any matches are on YouTube. I add it to my playlists. You can also check out the Shellshock Network on Twitch and YouTube. Shellshock Network, Shellshock Network VOD. And I feel like there was something else I was supposed to say, but I don't fucking remember.
Show us your cartoon buttholes.
Show us the
Goodbye.
butthole. Goodbye. Perfect.